It is 5:45, so I will call to order the regular meeting of the Hendersonville City Council, November 6th, 2025. We begin our meeting with a silent invocation for people to pray or meditate as they choose, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Join me in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And just out of curiosity, I don't know, Chief, if you know, why are the flags at half-staff today? Oh, I did.
Dick Cheney.
Oh, thank you. Was just curious. Thank you. Okay. We have no one signed up in person for public comment. Is anyone online seeking recognition for general comment? No? All right. We will move on to consideration of the agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to have added to or removed from the agenda that we have before us? Okay.
You have something?
Yes.
Madam Mayor, I move that City Council approve the agenda as presented.
Okay. Is there any discussion? If not, those in favor of the agenda as presented say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Ayes have it. We have our agenda. Consent agenda, is there anything anyone would like to have moved from the consent agenda to the regular agenda so it can be discussed? Or if not, a motion to approve.
Madam Mayor, I move that City Council approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there any discussion? Not, those in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Ayes have it. And we are on to presentations. Okay, first is Champions for Wildlife, new organization, Tashi Brewster. Yes.
Oh, well, that would help too. Thank you. I'm Tashi Brewster, and I'm the Executive Director with Champions for Wildlife. Thank you for giving us time and for making connections to get us here so that we can share a little bit about the really special things that we are doing in the community. So what we do is help kids discover the wild world around them and to care about it, and we do that through art. So we help every child get connected with wildlife. Every time a child picks up a lump of clay or a paintbrush, they slow down, they look closely, and they start to see wildlife in a new way. Art turns learning into discovery, and it connects curiosity with care. So every piece of art, every spark of imagination is a path to a future where more people care about the wild places that we share and that we love. Yay! I heard that things got changed and I was the guinea pig, so I'm glad that worked. So at Champions for Wildlife, we've seen how art becomes a bridge between kids and the natural world. And whether it's a red wolf that's sculpted out of clay or a bird that a child has painted, art gives kids a way to express wonder, empathy, and understanding. So this inspires me most, and I have seen it in action when the spark is lit. So I want to share with you the first time that I saw it happen. Yay. So picture this. You're in a second grade classroom, and the kids are, of course, buzzing with excitement. And I am telling them about the time when I worked at the Carolina Raptor Center. I had the pleasure of working with birds of prey, eagles, hawks, owls, and falcons. And I showed them this picture, and yes, that's me. It's many moons ago, as you can tell by the hair. The kids were a little confused at first. But that is me with a red-tailed hawk named Russell. And Russell really taught me the importance of connection with the natural world. Well, at the end of the program, this little girl came up to me. She was proudly showing me her art of a red-tailed hawk that she created. And she looked me in the eyes and said, "How can I do what you did when you worked with the birds?" And it stopped me in my tracks. That one spark, that one connection with this child, and I saw a wildlife champion being born right in front of my eyes. And that was the first program I did. So I realized then the true power that this work can do. So art opens a door between the child and the natural world. And that same spark is what inspired our founders to start the nonprofit back in 2022. So Lodi Woods and Dale Weiler started with a simple dream. They saw art as a bridge between children and the natural world. So their very first program was on the red wolf. So they were teaching kids about this critically endangered wild animal that lives in the wild here in North Carolina and nowhere else. And they taught the kids how to sculpt red wolves out of clay. So partway through the class, the teacher came up to Lodi, and the teacher was in tears. And she said, "Do you see the child that your husband is helping with the clay? He is a nonverbal, autistic child who has never participated in an activity in class before." Yeah, that was our reaction. So that moment changed everything, because they saw how art and our programming could reach every kid, no matter what their abilities were, what their background was. And I am proud to say that every program that we have done, every kid has participated in the art piece. It's amazing to see the connection that that's made. So I would love to now introduce you to the person that helps bring this magic into the classrooms, our education manager, Alexis Hinchcliffe.
Good evening. Like Tashi said, my name is Alexis, and I get the honor and privilege of being in the classroom with students week after week, helping lead our Wild for Art programming. I'm excited to share with you what our Wild for Art programs are, and that is a magical formula, magical combination of a wildlife lesson with an age-appropriate and engaging art activity. And like Tashi shared, every single student gets to take home wildlife-themed artwork to share with their families, to share with their friends. Our programs are intentionally designed to feature underdog species. So those are the species that are misunderstood, misrepresented, like the critically endangered red wolf, or the slithery, slimy snakes and salamanders, or the creepy crawly spiders, the ones that we believe need more of a voice. In our programming, like Tashi shared, we believe art is the bridge for kids to connect with wildlife. We also believe that art is the vessel that allows kids to use their voice to share their art and inspire other people to protect wildlife. And with that, I would love to share a story that actually just happened here in Henderson County a few weeks ago. We got the chance to come into a classroom for two times during the same month. And in that, we got to work with the same students. And the first time we taught about red wolves, and each student sculpted their very own red wolf out of clay to take home. And then during the second lesson, we we taught all about box turtles, and students created this really cool foil art. When we walked into the classroom for the second time, one little girl came up to me and said, Miss Alexis, I want to tell you what I did with my red wolf art when I brought it home. She said, I went home and I taught my dad all about red wolves, and I told him we had to protect red wolves. So together, they built a shelf in their living room that is now their dedicated wildlife shelf. And she put her artwork up on that shelf, and she told me the goal is that every time somebody comes into their home, she can show them their art and teach them about red wolves. And then at the end of our second lesson, she came up with a beautiful piece of turtle artwork, and she said, Miss Alexis, I'm gonna add this to the shelf so I can also teach people all about turtles. And I love that story, one, because we don't always see the moments beyond the classroom and see what students are doing with their artwork when they take it home. Every single student takes artwork home, and since we've started, that's been over 12,000 pieces of art that have been created and taken home. And this little girl not only took her artwork home, but she used it to connect in a deeper way with her family. She used it to use her own voice to speak up for an endangered species, and she's gonna continue doing that with every person who enters their home. I can just picture like all the visitors in her home before they can even like take their shoes off or settle in, her being like, wait, I have to show you this, if she's anything like I was as a child. I would now love to focus on one of my favorite programs to teach and one of our most popular programs, which is our Nature in Your Backyard program. And in this program, just like you can see in the picture, we bring kids outside to explore in nature right around them. We want kids to see that they don't have to travel to some faraway place to get connected with wildlife. They can connect right in their schoolyard, in their community, and in their backyard. With this program, we guide students on nature walks, and every student gets to nature journal, draw in a nature journal that they take home. And as the program is growing, we are prioritizing accessibility in the program. We are wanting to make sure every single child is sent home with a nature journal that's filled with bonus prompts and track identification activities and things like that so that they can continue their exploration and their connection beyond the classroom. We're also prioritizing sending kids home with magnifying glasses and other tools that enhance their exploration at home. And then the last thing that we are sending kids home with right now is a bonus resource which links them to the Kids Corner on our website. And this is a space that we've intentionally built out with activities for kids. So we have instructional art videos where kids can create wildlife art with materials found right in their own home. We have informational pages and videos on wildlife. We have a space for kids to be ambassadors and submit their own stories and artwork that they've been a part of to be a voice for our underdog species. And this is just the launching point for a bigger online and immersive portal that we are currently working to build out that will bring this across the nation to people and to kids everywhere. And as we're working to build out more of an impact in our country, the connection that we have in the community grows even stronger. We want to prioritize serving kids here in Henderson County because that is the heart of what we do. We are connected with the wildlife right here in our backyard, and we want to make sure we prioritize the kids here too. Now back to Tashi.
Thank you. So what Alexis shared really captures why this matters. Every lesson and every piece of art is a chance for a child to discover something new. And when they learn, they start to care. And that caring grows into action. So kids who once just liked animals are now going home and teaching their parents and their friends about the animals. They're more aware and interacting with the world around them, and they're wanting to protect it. So that's the heart of what we do, because the more you learn, the more you care, and the more you'll protect. So the little girl who asked me how to work with the birds, that's why I do this. And there are so many other kids discovering that it means what it means to care for the wild world around them. And every time a child makes that connection, it reminds me that the future is in good hands because of the work that we're doing. So thank you for the opportunity for us to share with you. Thank you for what you do for Hendersonville's kids and the natural wild places that we have here. Thank you. If you have any questions or comments.
Anyone have any questions? Anything?
I don't have a question, but I haven't gotten to tell y'all this yet. After I was in the kindergarten classroom with Alexis earlier this week, watching her do her incredible job, first a kindergarten teacher came up to me and said that there was a child in the classroom who had never been so engaged as he was in the butterfly activity. And I will send you that so that you have that for your data, but I just wanted to tell you here. And then also I was downtown that night and there was a child who was in the classroom with us and he was walking with his grown-up and telling him about plants and what plants do. So there were two things that immediately happened after being with y'all for like 1 hour. So I just wanted to share that
Thank you.
the results are tangible.
And we have hundreds of those stories. It's very heartwarming. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, good luck. Look forward to hearing more of what all you're doing. Okay, next, Sullivan Park and Brooklyn Stream Restoration, APWA Stormwater Project of the Year. Woo.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council. This, I don't have a presentation, but I'm just going to give a brief overview of the project. So as you all are probably all familiar, if you haven't seen, I encourage you to go down to Sullivan Park and see the stream restoration project that was completed actually in June, just before Hurricane Helene. So that project, I think it was in some of the first council conversations in 2018 at Union Grove Baptist Church that some of the residents there came out and they had expressed some concerns about the condition of the stream, that it wasn't, it was kind of an eyesore, and they were concerned about, the stream not be rats and snakes and other things like that being down in the stream. And so that kind of got my gears turning, and was looking for opportunities of how we could turn that stream from something that is an eyesore that the community is concerned about into an amenity for them. And so several years went by, and we were able to apply for use some of the stormwater utility funding to fund a feasibility study of what it would take to restore that stream. And then we're ultimately able to use the result of that feasibility study to acquire some grant funding to construct the stream restoration project. I have some information about the project, but this year at the Stormwater Division Conference for the state of North Carolina, the American Public Works Association, every year they award 2 projects, one for an infrastructure project, like putting new pipes and culverts in the ground, and then also a natural systems project. And so I'm happy to bring back this award. Our project, the Brooklyn Creek Stream Restoration at Sullivan Park, was awarded the 2025 Stormwater Project of the Year for natural systems. This project, this award is recognition and highlights the city's leadership in implementing innovative community-based stormwater management and flood resilience projects. This project, located in the heart of the Green Meadows neighborhood, which the Brooklyn Creek Restoration Project transformed a previously eroded and channelized section of stream within Sullivan Park into a stable, resilient, and ecologically rich waterway, hopefully one that some champions of wildlife might be able to visit and take advantage of. My son has been in one of your courses at Saluda Elementary School. I saw some of his classmates up there on the slide, and I think he brought home one of those foil artwork pieces. And I was showing him a different project the other day, and he was like, he mentioned Champions of Wildlife. So that's a great program. And so the project restored the natural stream function. It improved stormwater quality. It increased flood storage and enhanced recreational and educational opportunities for nearby residents and communities. Some key elements of that project were the restoration of 800 linear feet of stream channel, which improved flow and stability of the stream and reduced erosion, which was estimated at almost 180 tons a year being eroded from that channel downstream. It reconnected the stream to the floodplain, which helps enhance stormwater and flood storage and increase infiltration. It included a large amount of native vegetation planting to improve habitat, aesthetics, and the long-term resilience. And it also includes some public access and education features. So there's educational signage about the project, about pollinators, and then there's another piece that I want to speak on after this little section. So the success of the project reflects strong collaboration across multiple partners and funding programs. So we were very fortunate to have support from the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, 2 grant programs that they offer, the 319 Non-Point Source Pollution Program, which provided us about $240,000 in grant funding, and then the North Carolina Water Resource Development Grant, which provided another $70,000. We also partnered with RiverLink for a really great community engagement piece where we named the stream. So prior to this project, the stream was called Unknown Tributary to Mud Creek, not a very glamorous name. And then Baker Grading and Landscaping, they were the construction contractor, and Jennings Environmental was the engineer that we engaged with to do the design and permitting of the project. And together, these partners brought technical expertise, funding support, and a shared commitment to a sustainable watershed management. So the community impact, one of the, I think, the best parts of this project, in my opinion, was the community engagement aspect. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Crystal Colley, because she was an important part of that initial stream naming program. We engaged with her on several occasions, went to an event there. I think it was in April, Madam Mayor. I think you might have been there when we put that sign in, that when we had named the creek. So there's a sign there about the naming of the creek, Brooklyn Creek, and the history of the creek in the neighborhood. We got to, I think, Gina, you were there as well, and got to talk to some of the folks in the neighborhood. One story in particular, a gentleman that I believe he was a veteran that had been in, I want to say potentially the Vietnam War, and he said that, he left to go to the war, and he came back and the neighborhood had been, the urban renewal had occurred. And so it was a totally different neighborhood at that point. And he said that, this sign really, and some of the stories that we highlighted brought back his memory of what the neighborhood was prior to that. So that was really touching, and just a great, piece of the project. So, this project demonstrates the city's continued investment in natural infrastructure solutions to reduce flood risk, protect water quality, and enhance the livability of the community. It also complements community engagement efforts through the Name That Creek program, which we did partner with RiverLink on, and came to the name of Brooklyn Creek. And then just, this project represents, the city's stormwater department is going to continue to try and advance similar restoration and flood resilience projects like the Lower Mud Creek restoration, which is currently under construction, and our stormwater improvement projects, which have been identified through our comprehensive stormwater master plan. But with that, I would like to present to, it's been in my office for a little while, but here's our award for the Brooklyn Creek Stream Restoration Project. So I just wanted to, give you all this award. You can take it and put it where you like, or I will keep it in my office. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of highlight that project, and I think this is the first stormwater project of the year that the city's been awarded. So just wanted to speak to that this evening.
Do we need to build you more shelves for all of your
My one shelf is getting a little full. That's what I told the folks. But we'll see. Maybe in a couple years. I'm hoping that with the Lower Mud Creek floodplain restoration project, we'll continue to implement these important projects. And if anybody's interested, I'd be happy to set up a site visit to go to Lower Mud Creek and look at the amazing work they've been able to accomplish just in a short time already. So.
Mike, I'm curious.
Yes,
were we
ma'am.
able to salvage the sign?
So actually so obviously there were some devastating flooding impacts around Sullivan Park. That's just because of the scale of the storm. But all of the stream restoration and the signage, everything was not impacted by the flooding. So the signs are still there, the fence is there, the stream is still in its stable condition, which I think is a testament to the resilience of the design and the restoration of the stream. Thank you. All right. That's all I have this evening.
Great work, Mike. Thank you for
Thank
everything you
you.
do.
Yeah.
I think if Randy will come out, we'll do a picture with the award, and the council come out front with Mike and take a picture of the award, if that's
sounds
okay,
great to
Mayor?
me.
Okay.
Sure, I hold it the right way.
So,
One, two, three. New hair is a little saucy, huh?
All right. You are welcome to stay, or you can leave if you would, unless you want to listen to our public hearing and. Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you. All right, we do have one public hearing. This is a standard rezoning on Locust Street, part of the small area rezoning.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council. Good to see you. I am not going to do a full presentation. This is a continuation of the rezoning that you approved last month. That was for 4 parcels in this area. And you recall the background of that and the impetus for this area rezoning. We did have 3 additional property owners that consented to be included in the rezoning. However, in tonight's motion, you will only be referencing 2 of the PIN numbers. We're still working on 1 of them. And so we're just going to have a permanent spot on your agenda for the Locust Street area rezoning. Just come back every month. So the 2 you'll be considering are right here along Locust, and then we'll bring this one back to you when it is ready. And so we have all the consent forms. I think all of them made it into your packet. It is 3 properties, but one of them is a condo parcel. So all the property owners had to agree to participate. So that took more signatures and more consent forms. With that, I'll open it up for any questions. So the PIN not to include is the one that ends in 4629. I think that message got conveyed. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, has this public hearing been advertised in accordance with general statutes?
Yes, Mayor, it has.
All right, we will open this public hearing. No one present has signed up to speak. Is there anyone online wishing to speak?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay. In that case, we'll close this public hearing. Council, discussion, or a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move City Council adopt an ordinance amending the official zoning map of the City of Hendersonville, changing the zoning designation of property pins 9569-80-4214 and 9569-80-2387 from I-1 Industrial District to CMU Central Mixed Use Zoning District, based on the following. The petition is found to be consistent with the City of Hendersonville Gen H Comprehensive Plan based on the following information. The proposed zoning of the CMU aligns with the Gen H 2045 Comprehensive Future Land Use and Conservation Map and the character area description for downtown. Furthermore, we find this petition to be reasonable in the public interest based on the following information. 1, CMU zoning is more compatible than I-1 zoning due to the differences in dimensional standards and permitted uses. CMU zoning better protects the existing character of the built environment and supports recent reinvestment in the economic vitality of 7th Avenue District. And CMU zoning will protect against incompatible industrial uses.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Not. Those in favor of this rezoning, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Ayes have it, motion carries, and more properties. Thank you. Some new business, Patton Park design and estimate update.
Mayor Buck, I'll take this one. We're still working on design and updated estimates, but wanted to make sure that we had clear direction from City Council regarding the Patton Pool area. Mayor Pro Tem Hensley and myself and Deputy City Manager Pauly met with the county and the folks at the YMCA regarding their interest in partnering with us on a larger pool project. What we learned is that the Y, and I'll start and then I'll turn it over to Council Member or Mayor Pro Tem Hensley. The Y has plans to construct a second indoor 25-yard pool on their site there on 64 West. And also at this time, the county is not directly interested in participating in a pool project, what we heard from those two entities. And hopefully I'm characterizing that correctly. There is strong interest at the Y, again, to have a 8-lane competitive 25-yard pool that could be used by the high schools and other competitive swimming during the winter months. And they will be putting forth a capital campaign and ultimately asking the community to support the Y as they do that project. So following that meeting, or as part of that meeting, we were tossing around ideas and with the group and want to bring to you a recommendation or at least an idea that if the city moved forward with a project where we reconstructed, bring it out of the floodplain, reconstruct a 50-meter pool, which is what we have now, reconstruct that also, but construct it in a way that it could be used for competitive swimming. Currently, one end is too shallow and cannot be used for competitive dive starts. We would rebuild it so that both ends could be used for swimming competitions, and also include a open swim play element, whether that's a second pool or part of the bigger 50-meter pool. We would turn it over to our pool designers to come up with that, knowing that that's important for the city council, and that we would just return Patton Pool to an outdoor seasonal, at this point, seasonal pool complex for the community. So that is staff's thoughts. I'll stop right there and see if Mayor Pro Tem Hensley has anything she wants to add to that.
I felt like the meeting with the Y and the county actually went very well. And the county is also equally interested in supporting our high schools and our indoor swimmers. I think from what I took too, the Y is going to do a feasibility study on an actual indoor 50-meter pool, which would be the only 50-meter indoor aquatic west of Charlotte. So that would be really huge for this area. And the Y is actually going to do like financial review of if that makes sense to be able to do it. But they are committed to doing an indoor competition pool as well. I think this gives us the best of both worlds because we get to restore our public pool back to the community, and also with potential of long course outdoor swimming in the summer. And then also Patton gets redeveloped into a great park that everybody loves. And we're not taking anything away from our residents, and hopefully we'll be able to have a nice splash pad and water, a fun area too for our community. And then I also think that it gives us some flexibility to partner in some way with the Y in the future to have a large community center there.
So at this point, just all I'm seeking is general consensus. We will go to work on preliminary designs with estimates and making sure we're going in the right direction before we go back to our design team. I just want to make sure council is generally, still lots to do to get to that point, but okay with that approach.
And okay with that?
Yeah.
I think I did hear feedback too that we did want to plan for potential covering at some point for the outdoor pool.
Yeah.
And so I don't know that that changes really anything about the layout now, but just ensuring that if we did decide later on that it was compatible with some sort of an upgraded covering.
Maybe we could ask the design team to look at that as an alternate as part of the design, that if we added that financially, what would that mean? So,
Sounds good.
All
are you
right,
good with that?
thank you.
Thank y'all very much. We'll move that project along with Whitmire. Move it right along. Thank you.
All right, next we have introduction of 2025 general obligation transportation bond order and resolution.
Mayor and
Calling a
council.
public hearing.
Sorry about that. Mayor and council, good
Okay.
evening. Since your last regular meeting on October 2nd, we have advertised our intent to apply to the Local Government Commission for a $10 million general obligation bond for transportation projects. And for your consideration this evening, the general obligation bond project team is recommending the approval of our bond order. And we also recommend that we advertise the public hearing for your December 4th meeting. Following these actions following these actions before the public hearing, we will complete and submit statements of disclosure and post certain advertisements on the city's website for public consideration. If there are any questions, I'm happy to help.
Okay,
Just want to confirm mostly for like public awareness, that we'll talk about the specifics of how this money is spent after this process, right?
So the way the statement of disclosure is currently drafted, it would allow us to work on streets, curbs, sidewalk, anything transportation related, including some pedestrian safety, parks, greenway, not parks, just greenways, sorry, type activity. So it's pretty encompassing, but we do have buckets and a project budget established that pretty clearly identify that we're going to spend about $8.5 million on streets, about 3.5 on ADA accessibility, and then the remaining portion on curb and gutter, some other transportation related.
And as we move forward, there will be more public education materials available for the public to review, just disclosing how the funds can be or will be used.
Thank you.
else? Anyone like to make a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move City Council adopt the introduction of the bond order authorizing the issuance of $10 million general obligation transportation bonds of the City of Hendersonville, North Carolina, and the resolution regarding bond order authorizing the issuance of a $10 million general obligation transportation bond, setting a public hearing thereon, and directing publication of a notice of said public hearing as presented.
Is there any discussion? Those in favor of the motions regarding the transportation bonds, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Ayes have it, and motion carries. We're moving forward. Thank you. All right, Mr. Conant, City Manager.
Yes, Mayor Volt, members of City Council, included in your agenda packet is our October 2025 contingency and adjustment report for your information. We'll be glad to answer any questions regarding that. And then I've got 5 just really brief updates for you. Give you an update. We'll have a more thorough update going forward regarding FEMA recovery, but I am happy to say that our team continues to work very, very hard, putting long hours in meeting with FEMA, meeting with our consultants, doing a lot of design, just spending a great deal of time as we move through recovery. We've received just over $1.5 million in reimbursement funds from FEMA, which is helping us reimburse us for the money we expended those initial 14 days predominantly as it relates to, and longer as it relates to initial response and debris removal. So finally getting some money back into the general coffers of the city, which helps as we go forward. So we got 1.5. So that's a positive, but they're working on many other projects. Also along recovery, happy to announce that we've received 2 grants that our public services team has received. One is $850,000 for a water line project on Mills Gap Road, which will be allow for some redundancy for that Cane Creek area where we lost the water line in the industrial park out there. So we got that, and also a $946,000 grant that will allow us to repair sidewalks and storm drainage on 7th Avenue, which so pretty significant, 2 significant grants. We hope this is just the tip of the iceberg, but they're working real hard to try to reach out and get as much of that recovery money into the city so we can recover and bring the city back better than what it was before. So I wanted to mention that to you. One kind of lost my word there as it relates to bittersweet is the word. Bittersweet announcement that we learned last week that Fire Chief James Miller will be retiring at the end of the year, and we will celebrate James and his accomplishments as we get closer to that date. But want to go ahead and publicly announce that he wants to go out quietly, but we're not going to let him. Yeah. He did great things for our fire department, so including raising it to an ISO 1 standard. So we really want to recognize James, and we'll have more information about that. And then also want to announce that we've been talking to council about going back to the Dogwood parking lot and putting out a request for proposals for a hotel out on that site, knowing that with the increased traffic related to the Acoustic Trail and what's going on in the community, that we want to look at that again. We'll be bringing, at your December meeting, we'll bring you a copy of that RFP for you to review before we put it on the street for developers and folks to submit proposals, and that'll happen in December, about December the 15th. We'll put that advertised for proposals and ask those proposals to be presented to us by February 15th. So I want to go ahead and publicly acknowledge that. There'll be more information. We've been making some presentations to our downtown committee in the coming month, but wanted to let council know that was our timeline so far on that. And then finally remind everyone that we're canceling our second meeting in November. I think that, Mayor, we do need a vote to cancel that meeting. City Attorney is nodding her head, so if we could get that motion, and that'll complete my...
The December one. Can we?
We had already previously canceled that one. So,
okay.
So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Unless everyone wants to come in the night before Thanksgiving, would someone like to make a motion to cancel that meeting?
Madam Mayor, I move that we cancel that meeting.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Not. Those in favor of canceling the second monthly meeting of November, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Ayes have it. Motion carries, and we're set with that. Thank you. Council, anyone want to bring anything up? No? If not, we can go into closed session following a motion.
Madam Mayor, I move that City Council enter closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11 A, 1, 3, and 6, to prevent the disclosure of information that is privileged or confidential pursuant to the law of this state or of the United States, or not considered a public record within the meaning of Chapter 132 of the General Statutes, to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, and to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness of an individual public officer or employee, and to consider the case of Public Service Company of North Carolina, DBA Enbridge Gas versus Moore and Son Site Contractors, Inc., City of Hendersonville et al., 25-CV002532-440.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Not. Those in favor of entering closed session say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Ayes have